if they want to survive. So we had a standoff, you see. The deterrence policy. Well, now that standoff has become unnecessary in the way it was, mercifully. But the point is, when you have conflicting points of view, the only way to resolve them, the only way to prevent conflict, is to come back and look for universal bases. Well, that's a lot of the motivation. In other words, the motivation for speculative metaphysics is very, very practical. In Spinoza, it's less evident. I think where it is in Spinoza, frankly, is in his own experience as a Jew in a Protestant world, refugees from the pogrom in Spain, living in free Holland, but as a nonconformist Jew, treated as if he's an atheist, you see. And that, in those days, remember, was often a capital offense. May not have been in Holland, but it was in some places. And so what is he doing? Trying to provide a scientific basis for universal truths. Yeah. So I think that's the kind of motivation. You can say, if you like, that some of it in some cases is motivated by apologetics. Not so much Spinoza as perhaps Descartes. Motivated by the need for a worldview after the breakdown of the medieval worldview. The need to spell out a scientific worldview and see where it leads. You see? Because you have to have a philosophy to live by. Science seems to be dominating. It may be a product of optimism about the new methods of knowing, scientific method. Well, let's see how far this will take us. Is it transferable to other fields? As Bacon thought, Hobbes thought, Descartes thought, Spinoza thought, Leibniz thought, and people today think in the tradition of scientific naturalism. You see? So the motivations are intensely practical. You question the assumptions, but that's different from questioning the project, you see. Frankly, in contemporary philosophy, we desperately need speculative metaphysical approaches to provide alternatives to the kind of scientific naturalistic metaphysics that have been worked out and are being worked out with meticulous detail in contemporary American philosophy. You see? Now, we're getting alternatives worked out superbly in philosophy of religion. That's only part of the picture. There's a lot going on in epistemology with this in view. But that's only part of the picture. We need the metaphysical developments, you see. Because we're at another juncture in history where there's a change in worldviews, change in the scientific outlook, change in methodology, you see. Don't despise theory, you see. Theory guides practice. It's theory which creates possibilities. It's theory that critiques fruitless practice. Speculative metaphysics is theory construction. It goes on in every discipline, and it must. It's essential to development in any field of inquiry. Well, that was my speech. At least I got a 5-minute lecture in. No, listen, that's great discussion. That's the sort of discussion that I think a philosophy teacher would love to have in any college or university in the country. That was first rate.